Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze on Thursday said a note especially about Georgia was made in a joint document of European Political Community Summit highlighting the nation's special importance in terms of energy, connectivity and transit function in general. As the head of the government noted, the summit covered interesting discussions. President and Prime Minister from several European nations participated in the discussions. I got the opportunity to speak about energy connectivity, which was one of the key topics of this summit. We were also able to arrange bilateral meetings and speak with colleagues, president and prime ministers from other European nations. As a result, we employed this format as much as possible to convey messages relevant to Georgia's national interests, Kobakhidze remarked. Georgian Prime Minister attended the fourth meeting of European Political Community in the United Kingdom. The objective information presented in the report in the Department of State is a clear signal to investors that Georgia can be a reliable partner and the right choice in the long term. First Vice Prime Minister, Minister of Economic and Sustainable Development Levon Davitashvili said while commenting on the U.S. State Department's 2024 Investment Climate Report. According to the statement of the First Vice Prime Minister, all this indicates that Georgia has the right economic policy, which first of all involves macroeconomic stability. The report of the U.S. State Department, which evaluates the investment climate of Georgia, is quite objective. The assessment of the investment environment and climate of Georgia is positive. The report mentions the main economic reforms that the country has successfully implemented in recent years, as a result of which the country had an unprecedentedly high economic growth compared to the candidate countries of the region and the European Union. This trend should be maintained in the coming years, which is confirmed by international leading economic organizations, including the International Monetary Fund, said Levon Davitashvili. According to him, the country has improved macroeconomic indicators, which is the basis for investors to invest in Georgia. He also said that Georgia is different from other countries of the region, which is always clearly mentioned in the report. According to him, the country's investment environment is predictable and regulatory legislation is in full compliance with international standards. Georgia's Minister of Foreign Affairs Ilia Darchashvili commented on U.S. State Department's 2024 Investment Climate Report, stating Georgia pays a lot of attention to the investment climate and the Georgian government works very actively in this regard. As a safe environment and safe country are the primary components of foreign investment. As a result, this confirms that Georgian government and its leader have been saying our nation is safe for investment. This report contains some very interesting messages, remarked Ilia Darchashvili. Furthermore, the head of foreign ministry stated that Georgian government is actively working to increase the country's investment potential. Georgian Dream Parliament members have initiated changes allowing motorcycles and mopeds on the used bus lanes. The proposal was discussed at the Bureau session. According to the Parliament members, this practice is common in several European cities, including Vienna, Madrid and Barcelona. In Stockholm and Sweden, the policy started at a test. Once it was evident that traffic accidents decreased and safety improved, it became permanent. One key factor is that other road users find it easier to see motorcycles and mopeds, which significantly reduces traffic accidents. Additionally, allowing these vehicles to move swiftly in bus lanes reduces harmful emissions, the initiator stated. The proposal includes penalties for violation. Vehicles classified under M3, N2, N3 and T categories using bus lanes outside registered times and places will face a fine of 1,000 lari. Repeated offences will incur a fine of 3,000 lari. The exports of peaches and plums increased by 15% compared to the same period last year and reached 10,808 tons, the Ministry of Environment Protection and Agriculture reports. According to the body, the income also increased by 21%, which exceeded 12,200,000 according to the data of May 1, July 14. The exporting price of peaches and plums also increased by 5%, which was 1.13 USD at the moment. In the last 10 years, the export of peaches and plums exceeded 165,000 tons. The income from exports reached 150 million USD. The Oncology National Council discussed and backed the Health Ministry's initiative to supply oncologic patients with medicines. Through the facilitated method, the oncologic patients will receive the medicines directly at clinics instead of just prescription and exploring pharmacies for them. Health Minister Mikhail Sarjolaja chaired the council meeting. The minister remarked that the new method serves the interests of the patients and is a step forward in improving the service standards. Also, the conversation touched on the further plans and necessary measures for more effective management of oncological disease. The Oncology National Council is staffed by Health Ministry's representatives, oncologists, hematologists, and members of professional associations. Mariam Krivishvili, the Deputy Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development of Georgia, on Tuesday said the three domestic international airports had served over 3 million passengers over the last 6 months, calling the numbers an all-time high. Krivishvili also noted over 2 million tourist visits had been recorded in the country in the first 2 quarters of the year, marking a 10% increase over the same period of 2023. Tourist visits are increasing both from EU countries and from the Persian Gulf and new tourist markets, India and China. In the same period, Georgia airport served 3 million passengers with regular and non-regular flights, which is 30% more than the number of passengers received in the same period of 2023, she said. We implemented many successful projects, as a result of which we introduced new airlines to Georgia. Active marketing campaigns are underway to promote Georgia on international markets, which has a positive effect on both the growth of tourist flows and passenger flows, the officials added. Between January and June, 183,000 international visits from EU countries and United Kingdom were recorded in the country, making a 10% increase compared to the same period of 2023. In the first 6 months of the year, a total of 40,682 flights were performed through the airport of Georgia.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.